Formerly a Portuguese colony, Macau is a small city lying on the estuary of South China's Pearl River. A dense web of more than 1,250 streets crisscross its land area of approximately 33 square kilometers. It is in this warren that some of the best food in China can be found. Small eating shops and food stalls here are purveyors of a unique and celebrated cuisine. Although you might have to look hard to find the best ones. Locals, in fact, are fond of saying, the best food in Macau can be found in the streets. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the old streets of Macau are waking up to a new day. The north to south Rua dos Mercadores, known as Camp Street in Chinese, was historically an area designated for Portuguese army encampment. This was once one of Macau's busiest neighborhoods. Recently, indeed, it has been undergoing something of a revival.
Dang, 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 dang. Dang, 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 dang. 好風港嘅好地方，做個勇敢中國人。
When you hear someone humming tunes at Patio do Obrador, it is Lo Pong Long getting his shop ready for business. Lo Pong Long, a karaoke enthusiast, has been nicknamed Gabi Long by the neighborhood for his quirk of switching between dialects and languages. His workplace is this 2-meter wide alleyway. With tables and chairs set up, there is only room for one waiter. This is Sung Kei Chok Pan. It has been running here for over 60 years and only opens until noon every day. Its signature is Cantonese congee, the breakfast of choice for many locals. Congee is porridge made from rice, into which Lo Pong Long adds a variety of meats and vegetables. By 8 a.m., with the day's tempo increasing, he is in full talkative mode. While Lo Pong Long is attending to customers, his wife cooks the congee. She stirs the rice vigorously and constantly, which allows a maximum amount of starch to be released and ensures a sticky texture. Although the shop is small, it provides a variety of congee choices. Its signature congee offers all of the ingredients of the day in one bowl. Pork tripe, pork liver, meatballs and fish fillets. These tasty ingredients are easy to cook with congee. To go with it, locals like side dishes. A dish of cold carp skins makes for a tasty accompaniment. Hard-fried breadstick, contrasts nicely with the softness of the rice. In its architectural style, Macau offers a unique combination of old Portuguese and southern Chinese elements. Its iconic ruins of St. Paul's Cathedral are a stone's throw from the tranquil Na Cha Temple. Here indeed is a place where people of different races and traditions have lived alongside each other for generations. With the two cultures evolving alongside each other, it's no surprise that they have sometimes fused. Once, when this happened, the result was a tasty local snack. This was the look of the Tai Lei Loi Kei Cafe over 50 years ago. In those days, Portuguese officials ordered 300 pork chop buns every day for charitable distribution. Their demand led to the development of the famous Macau pork chop bun.
未回歸之前咧，氹仔咧，即係政府辦事處嗰啲土生葡人咧，好多喺度辦公嘅。咁佢哋食嘢咧，我哋會送餐上去啦，所以咪教咗我媽咪點樣自用嗰啲葡國香料嚟醃製個豬扒咯。呢個天后廟即係媽祖廟啦，保佑我哋豬扒包咧，越嚟越興旺啦。
Cha Ka-i is the second-generation owner of Tai Lei Loi Kei Cafe. She helped her mom here as a child. Since then, making pork chop buns has become second nature to her. In Portuguese cuisine, bread of different kinds occupies a central position. The strength of this legacy means the streets of Macau are always filled with the aroma of baking. The bread part of the Macau pork chop bun is often considered a short version of the French baguette. Developed locally, it looks like a sleeping piglet, hence its Cantonese name, piglet bun. Its ingredients are very simple: water, flour and yeast. The knack lies in controlling the time for which the dough is allowed to rise. And also the right amount of kneading, before and after, to give the dough the right texture.
到今日咧，我哋都係堅持用手製作嘅，同埋我哋嘅包嘅密度咧夠。 所以一個包咧，而家等於人哋出邊2個包咁重。你食一個包已經好夠份量。
Before being put into the oven, the dough is sprayed with water. The moisture slows down the formation of a hard crust. The last step is to score each bun with a shallow cut. Now the buns are ready to face a baking temperature of over 200 degrees Celsius. The Macau pork chop bun is a standard one-person meal. The hard crust of each bun covers a soft inside that now awaits its meat filling.
呢個錘咧就特製嘅，呢度咧就嗰啲波波咧就揼鬆啲纖維佢，咁而呢個尖嗰度咧就我哋揼啲骨頭，一定要呢度咧斷筋，如果唔係炸咗出嚟咧塊豬扒就縮埋唔靚噶啦。
For more convenient eating, Portuguese prefer boneless pork in their buns. But Chiang Kai-i's mom knew that pork chops with bones had more flavour, so her pork chop bun acquired its Chinese genes. After being tenderized, the uncooked meat must be flavoured. Brandy's unique aroma makes it a favorite for Portuguese chefs to marinate meat. Chan Ka I still uses it today. For the Portuguese who lived in Macau back then, this was the rich taste of home. The bread bun is crispy. The pork chop inside is juicy. Together, they make a perfect combination. This is the integration of Portuguese and Chinese culture that is a hallmark of Macau.
中國嘅媽咪同葡國嘅土生葡人，所以一個係一個比較代表澳門嘅食物。所以你唔嚟澳門唔食個豬扒包，邊人嚟過澳門啊？
For many visitors, indeed, eating a Macau pork chop bun is a must-do during their stay. But if there's one item that ranks more highly in this respect, it is surely one of the special administrative region's famous egg tarts.
嗰陣時有好多葡萄牙人喺澳門啦，咁我爸爸都係英國人，佢嚟咗澳門定居之後呢，咁佢都掛住屋企嘅嘢食，咁佢就諗，葡國人有咩甜品我可以做俾佢哋呢？咁佢就試做呢個葡式蛋撻俾佢哋啦。咁但係當時嘅葡國人就話：阿鬼佬，呢個唔係葡式蛋撻喎。咁佢話係嘅，因為我英國人 base on 我哋英式嘅 custard。咁跟住後來啲人呢。 就唔知點樣叫我哋嘅蛋撻啦，就唯有一路叫葡撻咁樣去叫啦。
The Portuguese love desserts. Egg tarts are a favorite. In the 19th century, nuns in Portuguese convents used egg whites to starch their clothes. Rather than waste the egg yolks, they made a creamy pastry with them that would later impress the whole of Europe. In this story, however, there's a twist. Andrew Stowe, a British baker, came to Macau to work. Combining Cantonese and British dessert recipes, he experimented with different ratios of flour, egg and cream to create Macau's unique egg tarts, which are known simply as Portuguese tarts today. For years now, so-called Portuguese tarts have occupied a central place in Macanese cuisine. In contrast to a covered pie, the filling in a tart is exposed. It's not just egg tarts that the Macanese have a special affection and unique appreciation of.
蛋撻咧本身係做甜啦，我自己就中意食偏鹹，即係鹹嘅嘢你食，即係好似食個飯咁，你可以食多啲，但係甜嘅嘢始終會漏。
After soaking in milk, the meat of bacalhau or salted cod softens, which is then cooked. The rich creamy texture is then spooned into pastry cups. Whether it's with bacalhau tarts or sardine tarts, restaurateur Sandra Nija Barros brings her own Portuguese flair to Macanese cooking. Macau and Guangdong have been at the forefront of Sino-Western exchanges for centuries. Cantonese chefs here have accordingly been influenced by foreign tastes. Baked using egg and milk, Cantonese-style egg tarts are one of a variety of small dishes that are served as the local speciality dim sum. Bright yellow in colour, these tarts are smaller than Portuguese tarts and without their caramel top coating. Moki Kei, located at a prime spot on Taipei's Rua do Cunha, is another favorite for Macanese street food. The sweet jelly snacks sold here have been a favorite of Macau children for generations. Recently, its durian ice cream has become very popular.
以前我老爺咧就同香港攞，我自己接咗手之後咧，我一定要跑去馬來西亞。山頂同山腳係唔同食法㗎。
In visiting the Malaysian highlands, Lung Kwai Chi, the shop's third-generation owner, was looking for this variety of fruit. There are more than 600 durian varieties in the world. Musang King is one of the best. To Lung Kwai Chi, it is better known as D197, the code she uses to order it. The fruit's bright golden flesh has a creamy and delicate taste, sweet and with a hint of bitterness. Lung Kwai Chi makes it into her locally renowned ice cream, which often attracts long queues in front of her store.
我做嘢真係好快，因為我要掌握啲時間，掌握好個時間咧，個雪糕好食好多。
To make delicious ice cream, the trick is to add hot water. Glucose and fish gelatin are dissolved in water at 80 degrees Celsius. Durian fruit flesh is then added and the mixture is stirred evenly. The mixture is then placed into a freezer to solidify it. Lung Kwai Chi knows the best pace at which to work, key to creating an ice cream with the best flavor. Finally, it is packed into individual cartons. In Macau, where many ice cream shops are more than 50 years old, they are usually called by its Portuguese name, sorbetes. Ice cream sandwiches and ice lollies made with beans have sold well in summer for decades. Surrounded by the sea on three sides, Macau's subtropical oceanic monsoon climate makes for swelteringly humid summers. Eating delicious ice cream in an air-conditioned sorbetes shop is one of the best ways to cool down. More than 2,000 years ago, during the Qin dynasty, Macau was a fishing village in China's Nanhai region. In the late Ming and early Qing dynasties, thriving fisheries led to the rise of a local shipbuilding industry. Laichi Vun village in Macau's southernmost island, Koloana, was the location of its last shipyard. In the local industry's heyday, dozens of shipbuilders, lumber stores and machine foundries were clustered here. In the 1960s, it became a major wooden boat production base of the Asia-Pacific region. Today, the former workshops are derelict. The total area they still occupy is an indicator of the industry's former scale. In 1970, Leung Kam Hon followed his father to Macau. His first job after arriving was building boats. Although he no longer does so now, he volunteers to patrol the abandoned workshops every day.
'86年以為機斷隻手，斷咗個大動脈啊嘛！我啲細佬啊，每個抽500cc， 即係咁樣施入去，咁啊救翻隻手。咁啊醫生咧就叫我切咗佢出嚟，我就同個醫生講，我話冇咗隻手， 仲慘過冇咗條命。
A workshop accident almost cost Leong Kam Hon his arm. When it happened, he was just over 30.
天天去海灘度游水，咁咪想辦法啊，用咩方法去練隻手咁咩都用盡啦，即係咁啦。苦練咗4年，嗰個院長同我講，佢捉住我手同啲人講，佢係奇蹟啊！
Refusing amputation and dedicating himself completely to rehabilitation, Leong Kam Hon created the first miracle in his life. To support his family, he opened a coffee shop near the shipyards in 1990.
話90年話好多船做噶嘛，咁好多工人啊嘛，咁我啲工人見到我咁，佢都嚟幫襯我飲支汽水啊，等我賺多少生活咁啊。
Shipbuilding's days were numbered in Macau, and eventually the yard was closed. Afterwards, however, Leong Kam Hon encountered the second miracle in his life. His coffee shop became a hit.
我開定就8點，有時啲人客或者7點多鐘都嚟啊，有時就。
His signature coffee is what attracts locals as well as tourists from all over the world. In its preparation, it is whipped hundreds of times.
热咖啡喝下去就感觉总体更加醇厚一点，然后冰咖啡的话就感觉更加爽口一些，感觉不到这个是普通的咖啡粉做出来的。
1 spoonful of sugar, 1 spoonful of cheap instant coffee powder, and 1 spoonful of water. With rapid stirring, the 3 ingredients form a thick aerated syrup. Cooks who have beaten egg whites or milk into froth will understand the trick. This is its state after stirring 400 times. Is it still coffee? Thick and silky, like melted chocolate. After hot water is added, the bubbles in it rise, forming a creamy head at the top. Using cheap ingredients and a vigorous method of preparation, a delicious drink is magically created. How did Leong Kam Hon, who was previously a shipbuilder, learn how to do it?
94年、95年、96年嗰幾年咧，佢年賽車都有對咁嘅外國夫婦嚟嗰度飲咖啡嘅，佢係嘰嘰咕嚕教我點樣打咖啡。
In 1954, Macau hosted its first motorsport Grand Prix. Today, it's a Formula 3 championship that attracts champions and drivers from around the world. The narrowest part of the urban racecourse is only 7 meters wide. Its fast straights, tight corners, and uncompromising crash barriers make it one of the most difficult tracks in the world. A large crowd of spectators is guaranteed for a thrilling event. While Leong Kam Hon had mastered the trick of making coffee by hand, he knew it would be of little appeal to local workers without much money or leisure time to spend. He needed to wait for the third miracle in his life.
04年啊，發哥啊嚟到呢度咧，嚟到呢個船廠嗰度影下相啊，咁嚟到嗰度飲咖啡。咁我諗住佢係大明星㗎嘛，我諗起嗰對夫婦啊咁樣打咖啡，咁我自己走去好似今日咁打咗一杯自己飲咗先，咁我打咗一杯自己飲，哎呀唔錯喎，咁我就打咗3杯出嚟俾佢，俾發哥飲。
Thanks to the movie star's support, Hong Kee Cafe became a hit. The quiet Lai Chi Vun village started to regain some of the hustle and bustle of its shipbuilding past. Today, Leong Kam Hon is fully booked every day, but his menu is as it was when he served shipbuilders: simple, generous, and affordable. His wish is that when his old shipyard workmates drop by to eat, they can still enjoy his familiar and tasty food. As an international tourism destination with both Chinese and Western heritage, coffee is popular in Macau, to a degree that many locals would not like to live without it. The beverage has become as much a part of daily life here as tea. Many Macanese restaurants, indeed, call themselves cafes. In spite of this Western label, their core menu is still very much Chinese: congee, rice and noodles. Juxing noodles are an unusual kind of Cantonese noodle. They became popular in Guangzhou's Xiguan area in the early 20th century. Food lovers at that time invented a unique way of using a bamboo log to knead dough made from flour and duck eggs.
我哋澳門嘅天氣咧，同我哋打麵咧個影響都會好大嘅。因為點解咧？因為澳門咧係沿海啦，佢嗰啲天氣咧係好反常啦，有潮濕啊，咁冬天啊又會好乾啊咁樣咯。咁你個麵，我哋時間一定要控制得好好咯，起碼3年先幫佢熟，因為每一年都有4季。
Using only duck eggs without adding water is a trick that increases the protein content of the gluten. And each time the bamboo log presses the dough, it improves the density and strength of the noodles.
好似呢支竹竿咁啦，佢跟咗我已經17年啦。咁我爸爸以前摁開嗰支啦，佢跟咗我都唔係好長嘅時間，喺7個月到8個月度啦，佢就自己裂開咗啦。開頭新嘅竹竿就似人一樣啦，你同佢培養感情啦，佢係凹凸不平㗎，大家去磨合。
For juxing noodles made in Macau, locals care most about their elastic texture. The noodles can't be sold immediately. They need to be kept in the fridge overnight to reduce their alkalinity and increase their elasticity. Only then will customers be able to enjoy them at their smooth and delicious best. 3 years ago, Lei Meng Kai, owner of the locally famous Lok Kei noodles, handed over his small family business to his son, Long.
我第一個變化就係唔使做，
唔使做，
舒服，我舒服。
佢個手唔使做，佢個腦就做緊。成日問你嗰樣嘢啊，問你嗰樣嘢啊，點啊嗰啲嘢點啊，你做成點啊嗰啲，即係佢會擔心，佢就即係佢個心咧就離不開呢度，始終。
This is the third generation of the street eatery. Although retired, Lei Meng Kai takes a stroll for exercise every day, using it as an excuse to drop by.
我爸爸有個成語，即係成日講啊，如果你做咗出嚟嘅食物咧味勝招彰啦，咁你就成功咯。
Tastes better than chili paste is a line written by the poet Na Lan Xingde, praising the scent of osmanthus wine. Lei Meng Kai started to make noodles when he was 17. Although they were just ordinary, his father asked him to prepare them for the best possible taste. With such dedication, Lok Kei became very successful. A world-class food authority has recommended this unremarkable street shop for 11 consecutive years.
第一屆澳門嗰陣時，我而家係為名譽而戰㗎。佢都要以前咧，阿爸爸又咁啦，阿媽咪又咁啦。
When dropping by on his daily stroll, Lei Meng Kai may offer some advice if the shop is frying shrimp roe. Shrimp roe is a seasoning the shop sometimes prepares. Fresh shrimp eggs are sieved and dried to become a delicious concentrate. Macao uses different varieties of shrimp roe, known for different flavors and degrees of saltiness. Lei Man Kai's personal recipe was the fruit of many years' effort. It contributes to the unique taste of this Macau juxing noodles. As the color of the roe darkens, its texture changes. Lei Man Kai wonders if his son's eyes are trained enough to perceive the difference, which is crucial to getting the seasoning right. For cooking, the noodles are boiled quickly. Soy sauce is added to taste before draining. Half-meter long chopsticks are used to keep the noodles from sticking together. Throw, fall. During this stage, the noodles are tossed up and down to get rid of water. Doing this correctly is crucial to ensuring the prepared juxing noodles have their full hallmark texture of strength and elasticity. When the finished dish is seasoned by evenly spread shrimp roe, every mouthful is accompanied by tiny grains of deliciousness. If you think it's too dry, you can order a free bowl of thick soup to go with it. It takes 3 hours to boil free-range chicken, dried fish and fresh dace together to make this noodle soup. It's not on Lok Kei's menu. If customers don't ask, the restaurant won't serve it.
以前係佢打起嘅，我為佢唔止生活咁簡單，我仲要係為我爸爸嘅名譽咯，一定要更好咯，我就咁樣覺得咯。
Many street shops in Macau are family businesses. Good food, indeed, is often a family affair. They ply their trade amid the everyday hustle and bustle, making the city a museum of delicious food.
咩叫辛苦啊？你唔中意嘅嘢叫你做1分鐘你都辛苦啦。你中意嘅嘢做1年、做1日你都唔辛苦㗎。
Right next to the Gongbei port, on the border with Zhuhai, lies Macau's new wholesale market. With 11 floors, it's the main bulk supplier of fresh produce. Vegetables, fruit, meat and poultry, as well as food inspection labs are organized on different floors. Macau is run efficiently enough to ensure a good supply of all kinds of ingredients. In area, however, it is small, the world's most densely populated territory in fact. With land in short supply, the city has begun to grow upwards. Macau's more retail-oriented markets are called street markets. Among them, the Sao Domingos market, located in a high-rise building, is the oldest with a history of over 120 years and still throngs with crowds. The basement level is mainly for aquatic products. The ground floor is for meat products. The second floor sells fruit and vegetables. The third floor is for a food court. The decor may not be luxurious, but some of Macau's best snacks can be found here.
好食，夠鑊氣，同埋啲嘢好好食。
Pingke is famous for its stir-fry dishes. Lung Shek Wai took over the business from his dad and is today its stir-fry chef.
炒菜的时候，把这个音乐带进去，梆梆梆梆梆梆梆梆梆，可以啊。就是把这个心情放松，你照着东西出来就是好吃。
Beef chow fun, or fried rice noodles, is Pingke's signature dish. The beef is first fried separately until 70% cooked. Bean sprouts and rice noodles are then fried together. When stir-frying, care must be taken to make sure the noodles are neither sticking together nor breaking into pieces. Soy sauce is the core seasoning. It must be mixed well after the beef has been added. Once done, the smooth rice noodles aren't greasy. After eating, there's no oil left on the plate. That's quality beef chow fun. Lung Shek Wai can work quickly enough to cook with 3 woks at once. In Macanese cuisine, there is slow food as well as fast. Chu Kam Chio's method of cooking is braising. Suckling pig imported from Vietnam is Chu Kam Chio's favorite choice for making pork pot. First, the piglet's internal organs are removed. Then the fine hair on its skin is burnt off. Now the pork is partially fried. Once 80% cooked, the pork is kept in a fridge so that its skin and meat won't separate during stewing.
1983年，我接手做，即係代替我老豆嘅職位。我老豆話退休啦，唔做啦，即係我上。
As the pork simmers over a low heat, its delicious aroma infuses the air. Each day, Chu Kam Chio cooks just 1 batch. Before serving, mushrooms and fried tofu skin are added to the suckling pig pot. The dish is served on a table stove, encouraging regular customers to bring their own ingredients, as if eating hot pot at home. In the meantime, there is a stall preparing the most time-consuming and labor-intensive food. Beef offal cooked in broth is a favorite among diners here. Wai Chung is the owner of the stall, called Chi K, and he has been running it with his mother for 20 years. They're always busy with customers.
我爸爸都做咗40幾年，我都做咗20年，都係堅持用新鮮嘅牛雜咯，所以就同出邊有少少唔同。出邊食嘅牛雜，你哋會覺得係香料味比較重，因為我哋啲牛雜食落去咧就冇乜香料味，係比較清啲嘅，即係接近原味。
Every day, only about 3 cows are supplied in Macau. Strong local competition can be expected. Freshness is all important. By virtue of his reputation, Wai Chung always has a way to secure the best supplies. Now he's preparing beef esophagus.
比較軟嘅部分咧，我哋又留低；硬嗰啲咧，我哋就唔要嘅，因為冇咁好食。呢個數量唔一定每一日都有嘅。
An esophagus is made up of cartilage and muscles. Compared with more elastic tripe and intestines, it offers the pleasure of a crunchier texture. Boiled beef offal has featured strongly in southern Chinese cuisine for centuries. Preparing it is among the slowest of processes. At 5:30 every morning, Un Wai Chung begins to cook beef offal for the day. Sugar is added for sweetness. Beef esophagus and lungs are stewed in the same pot for a tasty base soup and a crisp texture. A second pot has a heavier taste. To achieve it, takes a bottle of cooking wine and half a container of light soy sauce. These enhance the offal's naturally strong flavors. The job of Un Wai Chung's mother is to make special dipping sauce for the beef offal.
呢啲辣椒有好多人中意食嘅，因為佢好香同埋真材實料所以就唔同嘅。
Garlic and chili are natural companions. Some love garlic sauce, others prefer spicy peppers. With years of experience, Un Wai Chung's mom knows the different preferences of customers. Some like her mild mustard sauce, while others prefer her slightly sour chili sauce. The pleasure of fine food gives the third floor of the market complex a warm social ambiance. While Chu Kam Cho is still enjoying the company of old friends, the stir-fry chef Lung Shek Wai has changed his clothes and identity.
一次我教球呢個波俾咗落嚟，沉咗落底線，睇到呢個波啦，突破咗啦。
Lung Shek Wai used to be a keen footballer. These days, after finishing work at Sao Domingo's market, he has a second job as a football commentator. Un Wai Chung also has a busy life out of work. Sisan Kit Yi Tong is the oldest martial arts club in Macau. Un Wai Chung practiced lion dance here as a child. Now he is a volunteer instructor, passing on the tradition to children. These chefs are active contributors to their community, not least through the much appreciated food they prepare. It's dark now. The late-night food stalls and eating shops on the streets of Macau are all open for business. There's no air conditioning, no fancy tables and chairs, and no hot towels for the hands. But the meals they supply give rise to as much enjoyment as any fine dining restaurant. In terms of taste and authenticity, their food can be of top quality.
冇問題，冇問題，我哋做街坊生意，多謝398蚊。
Hinki Dai Pai Dong on Avenida do Coronel Mesquita has been in business for nearly 70 years. Lam Kok Lung is the second generation owner.
来这里吃不是朋友就是街坊了，吃的多了想转一下味道，不断是研究一下咯，新的菜式咯。
Drinking is a big part of outdoor dining in Macau. Dishes that go with drinking are therefore essential to compete.
大排檔啊，多人飲酒啊嘛，鮮香為主，一路食一路送酒咧就比較過癮啲咯，係嘛？
Using common ingredients like breadcrumbs, garlic and salt to make the best seasoning is also important for success.
蒜蓉咧係新鮮嘅剁啦，攪拌啲攪咧，因為飆咗水咧冇咁香啊。炸蒜蓉都係要睇住啲火嚟炸咯，因為如果又差唔多得嘅時候咧，特別快燶所以都要留意。 麵包糠啊，初嗰陣時做我哋冇炒，但係咧炒做出嚟又唔香，結果都要用慢火慢慢去炒。
Food stalls in Macau, like lambs, should never be underestimated. Lamb has the highest standards when it comes to selecting ingredients. Fish stomach is thrown away when fish is gutted in other countries, along with other internal organs. As a native of Zhongshan, Guangdong, lamb is familiar with its distinctive taste. Hot oil fixes the shape of the fried fish stomach and preserves its tenderness. After stir-frying, seasoning is added before the dish is served hot in a clay pot.
應該得返3、4間度咯，越嚟越少啦。大家有時一張台啊幾個人坐嘅，個個都唔識嘅，食完之後個個都識做咗朋友啊，大家有偈傾啊，咁其實真係好開心咯，見到啲街坊咁融洽。
Lam has been a chef for over 20 years. He once worked as head chef in a starred hotel. Now his food is no less delicious. In continuing its dual heritage, street food in Macau has become a highlight of tourists' visits as well as a part of the city's unique culture. Rooted in the soul of the city, it can be enjoyed in old winding streets and narrow alleyways. There are no expensive ingredients and no complicated methods of preparation. All that is required is dedication to tradition and perhaps a bit of ingenuity too. The best food in Macau can be found in the streets. Its flavors are part of the unique charm of the city's traditions, found in everyday life.